Okie dokie, I think we are live. As always, I'm just waiting for the old confirmation before we begin. So, short one today, because I know everybody's got lots going on with it being the week of Christmas. What day is it today? 22nd, so only a few days to go. So, the topic today is the idea of looking back and considering where you've been. So every 90 days, I sit down and I do a review. I consider what my overarching focus was for that 90-day block and kind of what my supporting areas were, what it was I needed to do in order to achieve that overarching goal or focus. I tend to say focus more often now than goal, because goal setting has become a little bit, not redundant, but it's become a little bit more less specific for me. I tend to create larger focus-based visions rather than real specific goals, because it's all part of a bigger picture. But anyway, I have a look at what wins I had, I have a look at what's been working, I have a look at what's not been working, I have a look at what needs to happen through the next 90 days for me to continue to progress towards this bigger picture. And then at the end of the year, I like to look at each of those 90-day reviews and kind of consider the entire picture before setting my next 90 days. I like to look at what I originally wanted when I set the very first one at the start of the year, and how that's kind of progressed and how far I've managed to get within all of that, what has been achieved, why it was achieved, what wasn't achieved, and why that wasn't achieved. Just a lot of data collection and kind of looking at everything to gain a bit of perspective. Within that, I like to do a weekly review. So every week I'd sit down, I'd do a little review on a Sunday to help me plan ahead for the following week. And it just kind of makes the whole process easier. It gives me all of that information and that structure and that support and all the data I would need to then form my 90-day review. Because if you don't look at things weekly, when you sit down to do a 90-day review, you've got nothing to look at, you've got no point of reference, and you have to sit there racking your brain trying to figure things out. Whereas if you've gone weekly, and you've got all that data, you can just collate it together, look at it and go, right, 90 days, this is what happened, this is where we're going next. And it makes things a lot easier and a lot more efficient. And you already know from my posts last week that I'm not into setting New Year's resolutions and all that kind of new year, new me type of crap. I don't care that it's a new year. We just keep rolling. It's not like the appearance of, 2021 is going to somehow make things different for you. Life doesn't just magically get better because the calendar is ticked over. We want to always be looking to progress. And that's not something that should be dictated by dates or, by the passage of time. Obviously, it's useful to have these markers in place and take that time to review things. But we don't want to be focusing in and going, right, it's a new year, I've got to do this. No, we just start now and we just continue. It's a continual progress. It's not something that is started just because we've hit a specific date. And if you don't continue and you don't take time to review, you don't take time to do a little bit of planning, it's very easy to end up spinning your wheels and getting completely off track and almost ending up going the wrong way, or even worse, having no direction at all, and then just kind of ending up going through a series of 90 days with nothing that you've done, nothing to work on, nothing to progress, having achieved nothing. I think having the ability to sit down and review things, it gives us more direction and more perspective, which are things we need if we want to move forwards and have more out of our lives. They're not something that we do just because it's the end of the year. It's a practice that we do regularly. And if we do that, then we have no need to fall into the new year, new me trap, because we just continue. It's just part of what we do. And this is something that we teach you within phase 3 of the Limitless experience. We teach you how to do weekly reviews. We teach you how to structure your day, how to structure your week, so that you can get the best out of every day and every week, meaning that you can get the best out of your 90 days, the best out of your year, all that kind of stuff. But anyway, before I go off topic, I'm going to give you 3 questions that you can answer to help you look back on your year, look back on the last 90 days specifically, and then just see what worked. So if you want to grab a pen, you can write these down. So question number 1, considering the last 90 days, what were your main wins? What were your wins over the last 90 days? You could just list those out. Doesn't matter if they're big, doesn't matter if they're small, there is no wrong or right, just list them all out. Second question, what's working for you? Because you'll always have a series of habits and things that you do each and every day that work really well for you, things that bring your energy up, things that help you stay calm and focused, things that make you productive. Those are the things that have helped you get those wins. So it's really important that we identify what those things are. What are those things that you know if you do them, they're going to work for you and you're going to win in some way or another. So list out those supporting habits, those things that work well. Then flip that, and your third question is to consider what didn't work. So what are those habits that you know are holding you back? What are those things that are slowing you down? Maybe it's going to bed too late, or maybe it's, not exercising frequently enough. Maybe it's skipping meditations. Maybe it's forgetting to plan your week. Maybe it's, spending time with people who affect your mood. All of these different things. There'll be things that are working for you and things that aren't, and just list them out objectively and without too much judgment. I've been experimenting with free writing quite a lot recently, and it's given me some really good insights. Granted, I can't always actually go back and read my own handwriting, but there are a lot of things that come out when we free write. When we write, it tends to come from the heart without expectation. So what you can do is set a timer for 5 minutes on each of these questions and just write. And the first few sentences might make very little sense. They might have very little meaning, but that doesn't matter. Just keep writing and see what comes out. And then you can go back, read it, and just pick out the key points and the things that, the insights and the things that matter. And if you feel like sharing them, you can drop them in the comments here, or you can join us in the Limitless community and you can share them in there. Either way, give it a go. Look back over your last 90 days, consider what's gone well, what's not gone so well, where your wins are, and just get a picture of what's been going on. Because next week, we'll look at planning for the next 90 days, which funnily enough, does not start on the 1st of January. It starts from when we start. Okay, so let's get out of this New Year resolutions trap and let's consider how it's been going and what we can do for the next 90 days. So have an amazing Christmas. I will see you all next week. Get on, answer these questions, and then drop on next Tuesday and we'll have a little look at how we can plan for a better year next year without all the usual New Year's resolutions, new me, new you, all that, whatever the bollocks is. So have a great Christmas and I'll see you all very soon.